Yeah, so Andy here for Go Nomad, aka Pigs on Bikes, and I thought I'd just video some of this because once again I'm north of the border and I'm in Scotland. But this is a bit more of rural Scotland than when I last did some filming up here. Because last time I was on like dual carriageways and motorways and things like that, and this, well, the reason I'm here is because I was coming down the A68 and they'd closed it because there's an accident, and then it diverted me down some country roads, and then I realised I was getting low on fuel, so I had to divert to the nearest fuel station, petrol station as we call them in England, and I had to fill up there, and then I hit the sat nav and it said this way, go this way. So anyway, yeah, I left Norwich home at about 6 o'clock this morning and then drove down to Milton Keynes, which is just north of London, to a site that we've got going there, and one of our subcontractors was just starting, first day there, so I had to go and brief him on what to do and give him the health and safety briefing and all things like this and documentation. And then it was just a drive pretty much from London right up to the other side of Glasgow and Edinburgh, which is where I am now. And I'm exactly 100 miles away apparently from where I'm going, which is Stirling, a town called Stirling. And I would have been there a lot quicker if I'd have gone via Manchester, I think. But the problem was with going through Manchester today was that the sat-nav started to take me that way, and then when we got to the turn-off on the M1, it decided to take me up the A1 because apparently there was big queues of traffic around the Manchester area, and it said it was quicker to come this way. I wish I'd just sat in the queue of traffic really, to be honest. But saying that, I've never been around this part of the country, and it's actually really quite nice, isn't it? I mean, it's nicer than the other bit that I showed, the other bit of Scotland that I showed you, which was decidedly sort of motorway-ish and in sort of a bit industrial, wasn't it? But this is really the back end of southern Scotland, very, very southern Scotland. We're just in Scotland. We're just not many miles from Newcastle, actually. And when I pulled up at the diversion and they were explaining to people what was going on, the bloke from the traffic management company came up and said stuff that I realised a few seconds later that he asked me how far I was going, but I didn't understand a word of it really, to be honest. It was all in Geordie, thick Geordie accent, and I had no idea what he was saying. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that really. Nowhere really, I don't think. I wasn't going anywhere with it, just telling you that I couldn't understand a bloke from Newcastle area. Not surprising really. He probably couldn't understand what I was saying. But there we go. Yeah, so here we are in rural southern Scotland, and we've just come past a place called Deadwater, which was nice. There wasn't anything there, it was very quiet. And a place called Kilder, K-I-E-L-D-E-R, and there's a big lake there, and I quite like the look of that, and if I wasn't in such a hurry, I might have stopped there and stopped for a quick cup of tea or something, but I decided against it because I'm already running a bit late. It's now 4 o'clock and it's going to be 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I've been driving since pretty much 6 o'clock this morning, and it's going to be another, well, I'm 98 miles away now and I'm doing 35 miles an hour, so I could be another 3 hours yet. I doubt it though. It will speed up a bit once we get out of this area. Well, we just happen to be driving up the bottom of this valley now. Look at that. That's cool, isn't it? Yes. Right next to the river and the sheep, of course, because there is nothing else to do here apart from grow sheep. You certainly couldn't farm any of this in an arable style. It'd have to be livestock farming, and of course that does mean sheep in this part of the world. So it's probably traditional croft country. So I don't know, I just made that up really. I don't really know. I've never really seen a croft, to be honest. Yeah, so I don't know what I was saying then, really. Camera kept turning itself off for some reason. I'm not certain why. But we'll carry on, see what happens. But yeah, it'd be great roads on a motorcycle, these would. I can see why people do it. Nice and fun, nice and fast, nice and dangerous. So not far to go now, only 95 miles, and then I'll go and find myself some food and then check a few emails and see what's going on in the wider world, and then probably get an early night really, because I've got a big day tomorrow. I've got a new colleague starting tomorrow, so I've got to go and meet him, and we've got an investigation to do on a house where the fuel tank split, and all the fuel has gone into the ground around the house. So yeah, it's quite a big job. So we're here for 2 days, and then I'm gonna go and show the new lad another job that's ongoing, so I can hand that over to him so he can look after that, so I don't have to keep coming to Scotland so often, because it's quite a long way for me to go. So then we've got one more investigation to do a survey to do in Dumfries, which is southwest Scotland. It's nearly in England actually, and that'll be Thursday, and then Friday I'll be driving home. So I'm away all week this week. It doesn't happen very often, but you know, I don't mind it too much. Gets me a bit of overtime and gets me out of Norwich, which, you know, there's nothing wrong with Norwich. I sort of quite like Norwich, but it gets me seeing some of this kind of thing here. So here we go. I mean, you know, I really don't think the weather's very good for shooting video. It just makes it look all dark and dingy, doesn't it? And that's because it is, really. We're now first third of August, and yeah, nearly halfway through August, and we've just had 47 days of sunshine or something like that, and in the last few days it's just turned to rain. So it's gone from being 30 degrees to 18 degrees, which is, to be honest, much more like England. It's not supposed to be 30 degrees, otherwise none of us would go to Spain for our holidays, would we? So, which is a great destination for the English to go to, isn't it? Spain for a holiday. All that lovely tapas and the cheap wine and the nice sunshine and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So yeah, but back to 18 degrees now. So that's much more normal. But then summer in England and Scotland, I guess, as well. Summer stretches from, I think it's May, June and July. Is that right? January, February, March, April, May, June, July and August, really. June, July and August, so 3 months of summer. But it's it's so variable, our weather. It's why we talk about it all the time. People say, oh, the English love talking about the weather. I say, yeah, because we get it all in one day sometimes. Because it is really variable because of where we are geographically. This is quite pretty, isn't it? Quite pretty, apart from obviously all the traffic and everything, but I don't know. Tilt that down that way a bit, you can have a look maybe when this truck's gone. Another nice little valley there. Glad I filled up with fuel earlier. It would have been embarrassing to have to call out the breakdown because I'd run out of fuel. That was yeah, I was a bit worried actually at one point. I thought we were going to be driving for miles. As I hit the A68, there's a filling station there, and it says last fuel for 33 miles, but it was closed, and I was just above the red bit on my fuel gauge, and that's usually good for about 70. Well, the red bit's good for 55 miles, but that's 55 miles of like motorwaying, you know, not these kind of roads, which, because you're continuously accelerating and decelerating and you're not going very fast, it kind of eats your fuel up quite quickly. And then when we got diverted, I was a bit like, oh, right, okay, well maybe I'm not going to make it, I don't know. So I had to ask the bloke, and the other one with the thick Geordie accent I couldn't understand, he told me, told his mate, asked his mate actually, and then his mate actually said, yeah, if you carry on down to such and such, Bedlingham or something, I can't remember what it was called, small village, they got a petrol station there. They did have, and luckily it was open, and I managed to put some fuel in, which was nice. Although it was very expensive fuel, but then I'm not too bothered about that because the company will pay for it and not me, and also I had no choice. So I didn't fill right up. I was kind to the people I work for and only put half a tank in to make sure I got where I was going. Might have saved them a couple of quid or so, I don't know. I'll go and fill up at Tesco's or Sainsbury's. And get it a bit cheaper there, can't we? So yeah, I haven't really got anything grand to say. I was just thought I'd talking about stuff. Oh yeah, there's a few things on the go, isn't there? Yeah, I'm developing my Patreon site, and I'm going to start doing maybe once a month question and answer sessions for people who are Patreons, and yeah, things like that. So look out for that. Website, of course, as well, www.goingnomad123.com. That's going to have some more updates on it shortly. It's very, very busy at the moment at work, so I'm struggling to find the time to do the YouTube thing too much, which is why you get a lot of videos like this. I've still got a heap of videos to edit from when we were travelling still, and we're working, both Tanya and I are working just a lot at the moment to bank some cash so we can, when we're able to go travelling again, so we can go back to Central America and then back to Cambodia. So that's the game plan. It's all there. Yeah, email me with questions. I will get round to answering them, I promise. I'm so far behind them at the moment, but like I say, once I've sat down, I've actually got some time, then I'll go through all of the questions. I will answer them all. I do answer all of them that are not nonsense. Some of them are nonsense. I don't. So if I don't answer them, it's because I didn't understand the question and I think it's nonsense. Just rephrase it in a different way and I'll try and answer it. Or stop posting nonsense. I don't know. I don't get it like that, actually, to be fair. Good. Yeah, like, share, subscribe. Email me at goingnomad123@gmail.com, and just be careful out there. It's a jungle. Well, it's not actually. It's a managed pine plantation at the moment. But there we go. All right, bye, 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 bye. Yeah. So just a bit more of Scotland, the southern part of Scotland, and we're just coming into a place called Bonchester Bridge. I've never been here, so I thought I'd video it. Hey, right, so this is Bonchester Bridge, and it's just a very small. It's like a very small village, I think. It doesn't look like it's probably more than 10 houses. But this, right, this is Bonchester Bridge. I figure that probably nobody has ever videoed this place before like this. So I thought I would. And we're in it. This is it. Here we go. Look, here's the sign. 13%? Good grief. It's like a real hill, that. Bonchester Bridge. So I think we're going to go right down. Ah, here's the river. Here's the river. Very nice. Yes. The Horse and Hound. We've got some workshopy kind of thing on the go there. Some cottages. Big pink pub called the Horse and Hound on that side. Oh, another little river. So we've got two little rivers. And then... yeah, well that was it. Wow. Oh, we've got War Memorial. And we've got other stuff going on. Jedburgh, that's where we want to go. So we're going to just go past the War Memorial here. And these apparently are called Green River Cottages. Well, there you go. Yeah. Bonchester Bridge here in southeast of Scotland, or maybe the south of Scotland. I don't even know where we are. I've just been following the sat nav. Oh, and then we're going out now. Here's the national speed limit signs, which means we can do 60 if we want to. We're careful of running elderly people over there. Do you see the sign? Bonchester Bridge Care Centre. I think that's the end of it now. We've finished. We finished with Bonchester Bridge. That was it. Yeah, some of them were decidedly run down anyway. But yeah, yes. Jedburgh, Edinburgh, Brugh. Why is it Brugh? Burr, B-U-R-G-H, Burr, Jedburgh, Edinburgh. If people say Edinburgh, I don't know. Which one's right? Edinburgh? Hey, right, Burr? That's how in Norfolk we say boy, Burr. How you getting on, Burr? Not too bad, Burr. That's a right nice day, isn't it, Burr? Hentet, spelled with an H, not an E. Hentet. How you getting on, Burr? That's a right nice day, Hentet. Yeah, Jedburgh Woolen Mill. There. Oh, well, there, that's the Edinburgh Woolen Mill. I have been this way before. I've been past the Edinburgh Woolen Mill. Maybe this is a different one. No, I don't think it is. I think I have been here before, actually. Oh, well, there you go. Anyway, it's the A68. It's the A68, and we're 47 miles from Edinburgh. And as usual in Scotland, yeah, it's raining. It always rains in Scotland. They had a day of sunshine earlier this year. It made it the hottest year in Scotland for 426 years. That's a lie, that is. I just made that up. But it's not true at all. It was much longer than 426 years. But it's the same as Ireland, Scotland, apart from it's in a different part of the country and it's different. but it does rain quite a lot in Scotland, the same as it rains in Ireland. And unlike Norfolk, where I come from, is the driest, statistically the driest place in the United Kingdom, and it also suffers from the least temperature change, which just means that it's really boring because it doesn't get really cold and snow, and it doesn't get really hot like parts of Cornwall and Devon and Dorset, which are right in the southwest of England, and they're very hot. And but we do get quite warm, we don't get very cold, we don't get any rain hardly compared to places like this. So whilst the landscape's more exciting and cutting edge, I suppose you could call it, in terms of geology. I don't know, could you call it that in terms of geology? Probably not. Who's this keeps throwing cans of stuff out the window? You need to stop that, it's disgusting. Take it home with you, scruffy little urchin. Or throw it in the passenger footwell like I do, and then clean it out once a month, and then have to have your car cleaned. Yeah, anyway, let's not go there. But don't throw it out the window, it's rubbish. Yeah, forgot entirely what I was saying again. Just rambling, aren't I? There we go. Oh, anyway, we've gone through Jedburgh now. And we're starting to mist up in here because it's wet outside and warm in here. So I'm going to go.